Hey there, good morning, everyone. Happy Monday morning. It's raining outside, but we still have sunshine in our hearts. It's Victor Johnson, career facilitator with Goodwill Columbus. This morning, we're going to be talking about delivering excellent customer service. Just recently, we finished a career boot camp, and the women in the boot camp learned a lot about resumes and interviewing and um, even budgeting and um, goal setting, things like that. But one of the important things they learned was about customer service, because customer service is going to make or break any company. So any company that you work for or any company that you start, customer service is an important part of it. So let's get started with this presentation. And I'd also like to say good morning to Valerie, who's in the chat this morning and there to answer any of your questions. It's, well, we had a good weekend. Everybody had a good weekend, I hope. And we're ready to get started this week because we're still working with people on their resumes and people with getting the training and skills that they want for employment. So, this is a day to get started. So let's talk about customer service, excellent customer service. So, what is it? What do you think about when you hear excellent customer service? What's the definition for customer? Well, it's a person who purchases goods or services from a buyer or a patron. That's the one that we're usually used to when you think about customer service. Buying something, being in a store, being served by someone in a restaurant, something like that. But the informal definition is a person one has to deal with. Now, we deal with people every day. We deal with our friends, our relatives, strangers, business acquaintances, coworkers. So a person one has to deal with. And then the definition for service is an act of helpful activity, help, aid, to do someone a service. So if we're dealing with people and we're helping them, then whoever I'm helping is my customer. If I'm helping my brother, he's my customer. If I'm helping a coworker, that person's my customer. So when you think about it like that, what would you say? Are your coworkers your customers? Definitely. Definitely. You may not deal with the public in a company or, in the corporation or business that you're working in. You may not see the people who are buying or using the goods or products that you develop. But the people that you work with also need you to treat them as customers. And we'll talk about treating people as customers in a minute. So, the other thing we want to talk about is how is customer service changing? We are in the middle of probably one of the most seminal points in history for the United States. It is a time when, even when you think of the bad things that are happening, you have to remember that we are adjusting and changing the way that we live on a daily basis. So, how does that change customer service? Well, we were already, at the point where uh, you didn't have to go to McDonald's if you wanted a Big Mac. Maybe I shouldn't be using that. If you wanted a hamburger from a restaurant, excuse me, you didn't have to go to the restaurant. You could order it online and you could pick it up, or you could order it online and you could have someone deliver it to you. You can order goods and services from just about anywhere. If you want a new mouse for your computer, you don't actually have to go out to a store. You can just order it online. So customer service is still changing. However, whether you see the person that is your customer or not, that person is still your customer. That person still deserves some level of service, some level of respect. We'll get to more of that in a minute. Because what does it feel like when you don't get the service you expect? You know, do you know what excellent customer service feels like? Do you think about a time when you received poor customer service? Okay, and then think about a time you received excellent customer service. Now, do we know what this feels like? Of course we do. We've all gone through it. We've had excellent customer service where we thought, oh man, I'm going to tell all my friends about this place. Then we've had customer service where you felt like, I'm going to tell everybody about this place. It's all in the matter of how you're treated, right? So when you're thinking about that and you're considering that even if you're not facing the public, your coworkers are your customers, think about how you treat them. Think about how you're treated by them. Okay? So, customer service. Excellent customer service is practicing empathy. And what's that? Empathy is feeling or understanding what someone else is feeling. You've heard the phrase, walk a mile in someone else's shoes, okay? Well, that's empathy. When you think about how the other person feels. And I like this saying that kindness is empathy in action. When you consider how someone else's feels, can't say it, how someone else feels, when you're considering that and you're acting upon it, that's kindness. And you want people to be kind to you. You want to be kind to other people. What's the other saying? Do unto others as you would have others do unto you. So that's kindness. That's empathy. And what does empathy have to do with excellent customer service? Well, Daniel Pink said, empathy is about standing in someone else's shoes, feeling with his or her heart, seeing with his or her eyes. Not only is empathy hard to outsource and automate, but it makes the world a better place. Now, he was talking about business, but empathy does make the world a better place. When you are you think about standing in someone else's shoes. Because most customers want you to greet them, value them, help them. You know, just say when someone walks in, whether you're walking into a store, into a restaurant, you'd like someone to say, hi, how you doing? Welcome. When you go into work, how do you feel when people say good morning to you? How you doing? How was your weekend? Okay? You're being greeted. Value them. Okay? Just you don't play people off. You value them. You take the time to listen to them. When you're really listening to somebody, they understand that you value that time. You're valuing their time. And people like that. I like that. And so I feel like I should give that to other people. Help them. Don't make things hard. Listen to them. That is such a skill that is needed, especially today when we're not face to face, when we can't see what someone's expression is like, when we're reading an email and we're not sure sometimes how to take the email. It's listening. It's forget what I'm thinking. It's what is this person trying to express to me? And if I were that person, what would I be trying to tell me? How would I feel? Make things easy for people. Sometimes it's hard enough trying to get the things you need. So making things easy is, the help that you need sometimes. Because the big thing is treat them the way you would want to be treated. That is the key to delivering excellent customer service. It's also the key to creating a work environment that is second to none. A work environment where everyone can be productive and everyone can focus on their work because they're not worried about what someone else is saying about them. They're not worried that if they need help, no one's going to help them. Treat them how you want to be treated. And so some other tips that go along with empathy. First one, be empathetic. Be courteous and respectful. And we all know what that's like too. Never show indifference to others. Don't you just hate it when you walk in some place and someone ignores you? Doesn't it bother you a little bit when you walk into work and you say good morning to someone and they act like you haven't said anything, like they don't see you, like they didn't hear you? Doesn't that bother you? It bothers me. Never show indifference to others. Don't contradict, argue, or match wits. One of my favorite sayings is, never argue with a fool. People won't know the difference. Don't argue. What's the argument going to do? If you need to make a point, be factual, be truthful, be calm. And remember, if you need to present something that someone may not like that well, think about how you would want that kind of information given to you. Once again, put yourself in the other person's shoes. Good manners will get you everywhere. Don't change yourself because someone else doesn't have good manners. Good manners will get you everywhere. Consistently go above and beyond. Now, what does that mean? Go above and beyond consistently. Well, going above and beyond means you have stepped into someone else's shoes. You are being empathetic. You are listening. Going above and beyond are those things that happen to you when someone, when you've been standing in a line for a long time and someone says to you, hey, sorry it's taking so long for your order. Would you like something to drink while you're waiting? It's on the house. Or someone says, I'm sorry that your order was messed up. Here's your money back and here's a coupon, for the next time that you come here. That is going above and beyond. And there's little things, that help people go above and beyond. It's holding a door for someone. I'm not just talking about women now, not being sexist. Holding a door for anyone. When you see someone coming towards the door, why not hold the door for them? That's going above and beyond, especially in a business. Holding the door open for someone and saying, good morning, welcome. How are you today? What can I help you with? That's going above and beyond. Now, let's go to the other side. Sometimes things aren't going that great, okay? So, hey, what if I'm addressing an unhappy customer? Well, I'm glad you asked me that. What do you do if you're addressing an unhappy customer? Well, the first thing, breathe. Get oxygen going to your brain. It calms you down. It lets you think logically. Just breathe. Take a step back mentally from the situation and breathe. And once again, when you have that opportunity to breathe, think about how you would like to be treated if you were the unhappy customer, okay? Breathing deeply relaxes you. And it may be difficult, but remember, if you respond with a negative emotional response, it's just going to make the situation worse. And you're there to serve the customer. The customer is upset for a reason. And that reason may have nothing to do with you. It may be something that happened the day before, a product that, broke, or a product that's not working the way it's supposed to work. You've got to breathe. You got to take it easy. Give the customer your full attention and listen to the whole problem before responding. Put yourself in their shoes. Use your empathy. Remember, how would you like to be treated? If you're trying to explain something, would you want someone to cut you off? No. You want to be able to explain exactly what the problem is. And you don't want someone to jump the gun on you. Let's say it's a coworker and the coworker is telling you about a problem they're having, but you've dealt with that same problem from 6 different people that day. Well, don't jump the gun. Let them express it. It may be the 7th time for you, but it's the first time for that person. Remember, how would they feel? How would you feel if you came to somebody and they said, I'm having trouble with, oh, don't even tell me. Nah, you don't want that to happen to you. Give respect. Give the respect of giving someone the time they need. Give them respect. Listen to their problem in full. Try to understand. Once again, empathy. Put yourself in their shoes. Even if the mistake was somebody else's, try to see it from their end. Always use your initiative when dealing with complaints. So does that mean you have to take care of everything? No. What it means is you take the initiative to make sure the right person takes care of the problem. If that person is you take care of it. If that person is a supervisor, you get the supervisor. But that initiative to get the supervisor is still up to you. Do what you can to diffuse the tension in the situation and resolving the issue. It's up to you. Never pass the customer around from person to person. Don't you just hate that? Especially on the phone. Hold, I'm going to connect you with somebody else. And you get to the next person and say, well, they shouldn't have connected you to me. I'm going to send you back. And then that person says, well, I don't know why they sent you back. You really should be talking to them. I'm going to say, you don't want that. And you don't want to do that to someone else. So think about the things you're doing. Okay. Understand your company structure and do all you can. What does it mean, understand your company structure? Okay. If your company, let's say, for example, someone bringing something back, okay, and they don't have a receipt, what is your company policy on that? If they do have a receipt, what's your company policy on how many days that receipt is good? Those things about helping the customer are the things you need to know from where you work, okay? Understand your company structure. If someone comes to you as a coworker and has a problem, understand your company structure. Are you the one that needs to solve it? Or is the best way to help them to send them to the supervisor, training, HR? Make sure the right person is involved. Do all you can to make sure the situation gets resolved and make sure it's the right person that they're dealing with. Now, once the customer has aired their grievance, you should immediately give a sincere apology. Now, you've listened to the person, okay? And the thing is, you might not be at fault, okay? If someone buys a car and the car falls apart, you were not in Detroit and you did not make that car. You were not in Tennessee. You were not in Korea. You were not in Japan. You did not make the car. But still, apologize. And you can feel it, Feel the way you would feel if something happened to your car. Something happened to something you bought. And just saying, I'm sorry this happened to you. You're giving them a sincere apology. Doesn't mean that you're at fault. It just means you understand. I'm sorry this happened to you. I'm sorry this problem came up. I'm sorry you're going through this. It's a sign of respect. And sometimes that apology is all it takes to make a really unhappy customer calm down. It makes the situation better. And remember, customers don't want to hear excuses. Okay? Just think about the way you would want to be treated. I don't want to hear a bunch of excuses about why something didn't work, or what it's supposed to be, or how full it was supposed to be, or why I got cheese on my burger when I said I specifically said no cheese. I don't want to hear excuses. You don't want to hear excuses. So don't give them. The person has spoken to you, told you what their problem was. You have listened. You have apologized. Don't give them a bunch of excuses. Now, you're entitled to do that. You're entitled to say why something happened. Okay? But once again, gauge the situation. Think about how the customer is feeling. Be attentive to the person. If the person has calmed down a lot and now you're getting to the point where you're joking about, what went wrong, yeah, then you can talk about, this is why this happens sometimes. But usually, if they're not that calm, don't give an excuse, or don't try to explain. All right. If you feel the situation is at the point where it's calm enough, yeah, you can explain, but you don't have to. All right. It just makes you feel better to explain, not the customer. And the customer is your focus. Customer service should not be a department. It should be the entire company. The CEO of Zappos said that. It should be the entire company. An entire company means coworkers, executives, the CEO, the maintenance people, the whole company, everybody should be practicing good customer or excellent customer service. So, the gist of all this is that when you are the one serving the customer, coworker, outside customer, whatever, when you are the one serving the customer, whether that person receives excellent customer service or poor customer service, it is up to you. You make the difference. You make the difference. So you just take that responsibility to be empathetic, to serve that person, to listen, to be aware, to know how to do things, and that's excellent customer service, going above and beyond. Now, I want to tell you about a couple of things that are going on. This week again, we are offering one-on-one help with resumes. So if you follow this link, you can schedule an appointment, one-on-one, to have your resume reviewed, or to get help with writing a resume. And we have experts here at Goodwill that will help you do that. So if you follow that link, you can go there. I'll put that link back up in just a moment. I also want to tell you that if you want to know about the services that are available to you through Goodwill, especially through workforce development, I shouldn't say especially through workforce development, but including workforce development. If you'd like to know, there's the website that you can go to. And remember, if you're wanting to get these down, this will replay, and it's also going to be on YouTube and Facebook, and you can replay at any time. And so get those email addresses, the web addresses, and visit us and let us help you with the things you need for your career. All right. I'd like to thank Valerie again for being in the chat room this morning. And I'd like to thank you for watching. We are truly all in this together, and Goodwill is here for you. So until next time, this is Victor Johnson, Goodwill Columbus Career Facilitator, and I'll see you soon.